Wheels up, everyone. Thanks for joining us once again for a Come On You Reds Touchline Talks. Gareth Wheeler with you. No Terry Dunfield this week. He's off on assignment, so we get to have a 20-minute or so chat with the Toronto FC personality player. And this week, I'm looking forward to this one because this is literally the first time that I met this player. That's what the pandemic does. That's what happens when young players come through and they've been able to avoid me around the training ground for years. Now they're forced to deal with people like me. Kosi Thompson, welcome to the podcast. How are you, pal?
I'm great. Thanks. Thank you for having me. Yeah, excited to be on it.
It's been a ton of fun watching you play to start this season, scoring your first goal, making your first appearance. This rise has been steep. How has it played out for you so far?
It's been incredible. Honestly, I was not expecting for the progress of my career to just kind of shoot off like this. It's very rare that it ever does for anyone. And so the fact that it did for me, it's been a great time.
We're going to dig into your journey. We got some rapid fire coming up. We'll have some fun with that as well. So let's flash you back a few months in the build up to this season. What was your actual expectation on where would you be playing or what your role would actually be?
When I came into preseason, I didn't know that I was going to preseason for until 3 days before. It was a surprise. And I got the call and I was like, you know what, this is what I want. This is what I wanted the whole break. So got to get ready for it. But going in, my expectations were just to work hard, learn, vibe out with everyone, kind of get a feel for what it's like. Cause throughout the pandemic, we didn't really get a chance to really get implemented within the first team. So it was going to be definitely a change of scenery stepping into the first team.
So when you get that call, how are you feeling, Kosi? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you questioning whether you're ready or not? What's going through your head?
I was excited. I was ready to just step in and just show what type of player I am, how I am on the pitch. And I wouldn't say I was nervous, but there were definitely times when I was taken aback, and I just had to take a deep breath, just trust in myself, and ultimately it paid off.
Was there that holy bleep moment where you're like, wow, I'm here. This is actually happening?
Yeah, it was actually when I got the call. I remember I was in my apartment. I get the call and I was like, wow, I'm really going. And called family, called friends, and I was like, guys, I'm going. And then from there, straight business.
Very cool. Did Bob Bradley call you, by the way? Was it the coach?
No, it was at first it was Jason, and then it was Rico.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Jason Hernandez. Just so people know who that actually is. So fast forward to now, we're in mid-May. You played about 9 games. You scored a goal. How has that process been for you? Has it played out as expected? Are things harder than you expected? Kind of take us through what that process has looked like.
Yeah, for sure. First couple games, obviously it was a big change compared to the preseason games. It was very, very different. Intensity, the demand is so high, so often, all the time. And that's something that the first couple of games I was like, wow, you really gotta 100% all the time. You can never switch off. And ever since then, I've just been in that mindset where it's always 100% focused, always physically active and everything. And after, I would say that RSL game, I would say that the New York game, my first start at home, that game really gave me a confidence booster. I played really well, and I think we got the win. I mean, it was just emotions afterwards and a lot of confidence. And I wasn't expecting to be a huge goal scorer, and I'm not expecting to be a huge goal scorer. But I mean, we love to get on the sheet. So when we were in RSL, I saw Jacob making the run, and I was like, you know what? Let's give him a chance. Stepped up, made good contact, scored, and yeah, it was insane. It was insane.
Amazing. You mentioned the New York game at home.
Mm-hmm.
It started off a little bit dicey because a penalty was originally called against you, even though you didn't touch the player. Wasn't
Yeah.
your bad, but what was going through your head at that point? Where you're like, oh no, this can't be happening.
As soon as I heard the ref blow the whistle, I was like, "There's no way that this is going on right now. Like, there's no way that my first start at home is going this way. Like, what are the fans gonna say? What is the team gonna say? Like, damn." But as soon as I saw him go to VAR, I was like, "Hey, it's definitely gonna get turned." It did, and from there, I was like, "You got to forget about it. You can't think about it. You just got to forget about it." And what could have been a horrible home start turned into a great home start.
In fairness, whether it goes to VAR or not, after we went through in recent weeks, including last weekend, you just never know. You never know. So it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride. That goal, you spoke about that finish out Salt Lake. Man, it was cool and calm. Typically, especially young players, it's just because they don't have the experience. They might try to hit that ball too hard. They might go power of replacement, but you shaped that perfectly into the back of the net. I know you have some natural attacking instincts. Like you started off as an attacking player, didn't you?
Yeah.
Then you've kind of worked your way back. I mean, is that all that is muscle memory, just repetition?
Yeah.
For a finish like that?
I mean, it's something that I emphasize is always just the technique and the contact. And then with the contact, the power comes into the strike. And if it's a one-time hit from the top of the box, you don't really need a lot of power. Just make good contact, direct it away from the keeper. And I think that it should go in. And as we all saw, it worked. So I wasn't really too focused on really just smashing it and just trying to put my foot through it. Really just wanted to make good contact. And as I watched the ball just bounce off my foot, and as I felt it bounce off my foot, I knew that it was good contact, and I knew that it was one in. But it also is muscle memory for sure.
It was a great finish, a great moment for you, a great moment for the club. Hanging out with Kosi Thompson here on Touchline Talks. I'm Wheels. A bunch of things have jumped out about your style of play and the way that you play. The one question that a lot of people might be asking is like, man, what's this guy's natural position? Just following you through the academy, I knew that you started off in an attacking role, but this season you played right back, you played right wing back, you played right wing, you played central midfield. Dude, it's difficult enough on young players coming into this league and competing, yet you're being asked to play all over the field.
Yeah.
First of all, what is your natural position in your mind? And second, what's that experience look like? Just asking, being asked to play different roles, even if it's within the 90 minutes, let alone game to game.
Yeah. My natural position is something that where I grew up playing was right wing throughout the beginning of the academy, as well as like the youth levels from when I was like 6 all the way till 10 before coming to the academy. I was always playing as a right winger, and throughout the academy, I bounced around the front line a bit, striker sometimes, left wing, right wing, and with just with me being all over the field this season, is who's versatile enough, as well as just who can perform in those positions. And right wing back, there's similarities. There's a lot of similarities because at times you are playing as a right winger. So there's a lot of similarities. And throughout preseason, Bob also put me as a center attacking mid or a center mid, and that really, I found that gave me the confidence to be comfortable in the middle, to be able to play in the middle through the season. And obviously right back, it's a bit different from playing right wing, but it's still, there's a lot of similarities, just a bit farther away from the net. And there's a lot more defensive roles that you need to be thinking about.
Man, I'm looking Sunday in Vancouver. It's like you and DeAndre playing central midfield with Michael. I mean, You got to lean on the captain a little bit in situations like that, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Mike's definitely a huge help in the middle. You know that he's always there for support. He's always finding good pockets. You know that he's also really good on the ball and will find you in good pockets. So playing with Mike in that in the middle is definitely a good support for guys who are stepping into the middle as the center midfield not being a natural position.
Each and every week, you look more comfortable. You look like you belong, Kosi. I always say for young players, you mentioned it's the speed of the game, but it's also the level of physicality in this league as well. It's a physical league, and sometimes younger players, not being fully mature, you can struggle to a certain degree, but it doesn't seem to phase you. Is that just part of your mentality?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of my mentality but also just I'm physically gifted. I mean, I'm not that small of a guy. I'm decently sized guy. So I know that I can compete with these guys, these bigger guys. So it is just a mental standpoint of, am I going to run hard enough? Am I going to be strong enough? Am I going to be strong enough to win the ball off of other people? It's all to a point mental. The physical part is obviously it plays a big role in the game, but when it comes down to duels with you and other players, and it comes down to the physical side of it, it's always just who wants it more. It's always who wants it more. It doesn't matter whether you're 6'2" and like 200 pounds, or you're 5'9" and 145 pounds. It's whoever wants it more.
And you do all that wearing the smallest shin pads I maybe ever seen in my entire life. Like, looking back to when I played it makes it look like I was like wearing like goalie pads as an ice hockey player, man. Where do you find these shin pads? Is your mindset the smaller the better?
It was actually last year when I was playing USL League One. One of my teammates forgot his shins, and I was like, "Here, take mine," and I cut mine in half. And I gave him the top half, and I took the bottom half. And ever since then, I've enjoyed wearing small shin pads. It feels free. I don't know what it is about it. I just feel comfortable wearing small shin pads and just keeping my socks pretty short.
That's it. You can't keep your socks up. That's the thing. It affects your style as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's one of my biggest pet peeves while playing is when your shin pads are sliding down. When you have them close to your knee and they keep on sliding down, that gets on my nerves in the games.
Totally. Well, I'm glad you found your comfort, because that's what it's all about, right? Like, the size doesn't really matter in this circumstance. So you're one of a number of young players that have made your first team debuts this season. What's that vibe like around young players? Because for year after year, like, it was so difficult to get into the first team, right? And that opportunity sometimes must have seemed like it was miles and miles away, yet it's presenting itself, and many of the players like yourself are taking full advantage of that opportunity. What is the mindset of the young players in this team right now?
Just working hard and learning every day, just wanting to get better as a footballer, as a team player in the 11 or in the 22 or whatever. Everyone just wants to get better, and not only is it the young guys on first team as well, but young guys in the second team, they're wanting to they're eager to get into the first team atmosphere. Everyone wants a taste now. Everyone wants a taste, and it's a very competitive atmosphere, but ultimately that benefits everyone.
You witnessed it, playing through the academy, and you still see it every day. What's that talent level like? Because I feel like the general public, they've only seen glimpses, right? They're still getting to learn a lot of these names and faces and the way that they play. From your experience, what's the level like? Where's it at right now?
Throughout the academy?
Throughout the academy, just the young players coming through at TFC.
There's some really good ballers, really good technical players. Smart players throughout the academy. I enjoy watching them. Even in the older ages, U17, U15, there's some really good footballers that I would expect to see coming up through the ranks very, very soon.
I used to play under my partner in crime, Terry Dunfield. Anything you want to share about that experience? It's cool. We can share our dirty laundry here. I can tell you all the ways that he's pissed me off over the years, and you can do the exact same.
Yeah, Terry Dunfield, he's a special character. Yeah, I really enjoy playing underneath him. The way that he connects with the players, it's just nothing that as a youth player, you just don't experience that often. It was a gift to have someone that has been in the atmosphere of a player being your mentor, and he really took it not only as a coaching job, but also as a mentorship for these young kids, being a beacon of support for kids who need to ask questions, who are curious about pathways. He was a big help for sure.
He's so dedicated. He cares so much and he works exceptionally hard. But I got to say, that blooper reel of things he must say in front of you guys, that must be extensive, man.
Oh yeah.
Must be extensive.
Oh, yeah. He's got a mouth on him for sure. He's got a mouth on him for sure. But that's it. That's his personality. That's his character. Yeah. And I like it.
Wouldn't ask him to change that whatsoever. You almost didn't end up playing with TFC 2 last season, correct? You declared to play at Oregon State originally. Yeah. How did that scenario play out, and what inevitably kind of weighed into your decision to stay and play with the second team?
Yeah, so I committed to Oregon State before signing with TFC 2, and when I committed, I thought, you know what, I might choose a safer route. I can still make it to the MLS, but I also have school there. I took a little while to think about it, a couple months. And then ultimately I thought school is always going to be there. Unless God forbid something happens, my brain will always function properly. So, I mean, I can always come back and pick up something, but this opportunity might not come again. And I took it. I took the opportunity, and my mom, my dad, family, they were all behind me. They were all behind me with my decision. And I thought that I was making the wrong decision at first, but as I started playing with TFC2, starting to get more involved in the professional atmosphere, I'm very, very glad that I chose the way that I went.
You mentioned those pathways. I mean, when I was growing up playing, I played university ball, but that was kind of like the pathway, right? Like that was the preferred way to go. Mm-hmm. But now you have options. Young Canadian players have options like never before. I'm assuming that still is a difficult decision. Like inevitably, yes, I want to be playing Major League Soccer. I want to be playing for Toronto FC, but it's not like one size fits all, is it? Like you just need to kind of make the right decision for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, a lot of kids out there would make a decision within that 15 minutes, but then a couple weeks later, they may think it's the wrong decision. And I honestly think it's, you make a decision and you stick by the decision. You make the decision right for yourself. I don't think that there's ever a right or wrong answer. You always got to make what you choose work.
Before we get into rapid fire, this season so far has had its ups and downs. The last week has been a difficult one. Not all of, obviously, the team's own doing, incredibly difficult schedule as well. But we all understand that there's a process of change going on right now that, you know, with the new coach and some new players coming in, Lorenzo Insigne coming in next month as well, that it's a little bit of a process that's under play right now. What's the mindset of the group right now? Is it encouraged about the direction that everything's going? Maybe take us inside that room as to kind of what the conversations are and how everyone's feeling about what, you know, kind of the process that's being undertaken right now.
For sure. I mean, whoever's here right now is here right now. And that's all we're worried about. Whatever happens 2 months, 3 months down the road, that's going to happen then. But as of right now, we have our group. We have our mindset. We have our tactics, everything. We know what we want to do. We have our coaching staff, our support staff. We are all focused on the right now. And that is something that is probably the most important thing, that no one steps out of the right now and thinks about later down the line. Everyone needs to be focused on right now, or this coming weekend, tomorrow's training session. Very, very, very short-term goals, I guess. But there's definitely talk about what's going to happen when guys come in. But as of right now, personally, as well as collectively, we are all focused on just the right now.
Very well said. Kosi Thompson, are you ready to do some rapid fire here?
Yes, I am.
I mean, your teammates have endured and had to deal with me doing this stuff. So now it's your turn. You grew up in Toronto. What neighborhood did you grow up in?
I grew up on Weston Road. So if you would call it the south side of Weston Road, that's where we grew up, at Jane and Weston Road.
So I'm an East Sider,
okay.
Kosi. So what makes the West End better than the East?
There is so much more to do on the West End. There's parks, restaurants. There's everything. There's libraries. There's neighborhoods that are just so, personally, I think, that are so much better than the East Side. I don't know if you agree or you disagree, but I think that the West Side is also up and coming, also very young, very young. So between the ages of 17 to 35, you're gonna have a great time.
Apparently that's younger than my demographic now. And apparently that means that Kosi Thompson loves to sit in traffic, because that's what I think of first when I think about the West End of the city. Your favorite restaurant to go to in Toronto?
Oh, that's a big one. La Cantina.
Your pregame meal, what does that consist of?
Breakfast or a lunch?
Okay, so this weekend you play at 3 p.m. What are you doing?
I'll probably have something small, like a bit of yogurt and granola, maybe some fruit, some banana for a small breakfast. And then kind of in between the breakfast and match time, I'll have a little bit bigger breakfast. I'll have some a bagel, throw some peanut butter on it, throw some bananas on it with some eggs.
See, now you're of a younger generation, so I can actually ask this question. Growing up, who is your favorite Toronto FC player?
Growing up, who's my favorite Toronto FC player? When he was here, Dwayne Derizario, and then Seba, just magical on the field.
Are you buddies with Osaze? Are you watching him right now?
Yes. I'm really close with Osaze and with Adisa Derizario. Yeah. Nice.
Do you have your own signature goal scoring move that you'll whip out next time? Like he had the shake and bake. Do you got something up your sleeve?
If it was we talk about this all the time. if it's a home game, it's definitely a knee slide.
Who is your favorite footballing team outside of Toronto FC?
Chelsea.
Why Chelsea?
It's a family team. It's been in the family for generations.
Favorite Chelsea player?
Right now or ever?
Let's go both.
Ever, I would say Didier Drogba. Currently, I'd have to say Mount or Kovacic.
Okay. Where were you when Canada punched their World Cup ticket?
I was right there. 5th row. I was right there at the game.
How cold was it?
I was back and forth between a box and outside, but it was freezing.
Were you surprised when they eventually clinched their World Cup berth?
No. The way that things are turning for Canada soccer, I wasn't surprised. I was relieved. Relieved and happy.
It's every kid's dream to play in a World Cup. What will you have to do to play in a World Cup?
Just keep working hard, keep learning, keep getting better every day, and hopefully wiggle my way into the men's national team.
All right, let's talk very quickly about some of your teammates. Who's your best friend on the team?
My best friend on the team? I have a couple of them. I would have the guys that I spent the longest time with, Luke of Trasso, and just recently Themi. So those two I spent a lot of time with last year.
Who's the biggest personality or the funniest guy among the group?
Shane-O. He has a personality and a half. That guy. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who's the most intimidating on the team?
The most intimidating? Jonathan Rosario.
Really? What makes him so intimidating?
Yeah. Walking in, I mean, great guy. But walking in, yeah, that definitely felt a bit from him.
And finally, What does the city of Toronto mean for you? I mean, it's not just your club, it's your home, right? Like you grew up here. It's got to be a special experience representing this team. What does it all mean for you, Kosi?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like you said, it's not only my team, but it's also my home. And every time I step on the field, every day actually, I'm representing not only the team, but I'm representing the whole city. And I want to do nothing but make the city proud, make everyone know that Toronto is one of the best cities out there.
Great stuff, man. That was rapid fire with Kosi Thompson. I was going to ask you about music, but I have no idea what you listen to. You might be listening to artists that Old Man Wheeler has no idea about. So,
yeah, I'm all over the place with music.
All right. You can rapid fire questions to me next time. That's how we'll kind of roll. So you can get to know me a little bit. Okay. Questions that no one wants to know the answer to, but we can do that. This has been awesome, man. It's been a pleasure chatting, getting to know you a little bit, man. You're mature beyond your years. It's been a great conversation. We really appreciate you taking some time. We're looking forward to Saturday back at BMO Field when the weather is actually going to be in an acceptable temperature as you take on Orlando City, 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is that all?
Thanks, buddy. Really appreciate it. We'll do this again down the road, okay?
All right. Take care. Have a good one.
Kosi Thompson of Toronto FC joining us here on Touchline Talks. We'll be back next week with Come On You Reds, the Toronto FC podcast. And a reminder, TFC Orlando, Saturday at 3. If you can't make it down to BMO Field, you can watch on TSN. On behalf of Kosi, our producer Erica, I am Gareth Wheeler. Wheels down for this week on Touchline Talks.